Recently, PlayStation announced on their blogs that effective April 2 this year, there'd be a $50 price increase across the board. And while it may not be as big for most, the fact remains that that's still 900 USD for a PS5 Pro. Let's put the stats up there and compare every single PlayStation model from release versus their price 6 years later. And the PS5 is an outlier to be the only console to actually increase in price. We look at Xbox, the usual competitor of PlayStation, and surprisingly, they actually beat them to the punch by increasing their prices the year before. However you want to shape it though, it can't be ignored that this is the only generation of consoles to actually increase in price over time, with software still being developed, with games costing roughly more than 60 USD per disc, assuming you even have a disc-based console. It's a far cry from the gaming days of old where it was limited to just the arcade experience and console ports. We've recently covered why you should or shouldn't buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and while console exclusive titles are alluring, the budgetary constraint is still something to look out for. The conclusion was to just look for alternatives, but just talking about the console alternatives reminds us that illusion is a choice, and in gaming, an expensive choice all the same. What's the real alternative to console gaming at this point? Back then, when internet cafes were still a thing, or you know what, let's be fair. When AI wasn't as rampant, everybody and their moms would consider desktop or PC gaming as the true console alternative. Every cool game you've ever seen like Grand Theft Auto, Need for Speed, The Witcher, and even games like Elden Ring eventually had a PC port. And the cool thing about it was you could have mods in your game. Like Leon or Grace Ashcroft from Resident Evil as an anime horse girl? Sign me up! Times were simpler back then and game requirements weren't as heavy, meaning you wouldn't need to constantly be updated. With the heavy hitter games though, you need an upgrade. And those are expensive even if you could get them secondhand. What's the actual alternative then? At this point, if we're just considering prices, the one true budget king is in your hands almost every waking moment: your mobile devices. With practicality in mind, you'd normally upgrade them over time. And even if you didn't, mobile games are actually optimized to allow gaming experiences on a budget. It helps too that there are tons of fun gacha games out there that emulate the console experience, like with Guardian Tales, Call of Duty Mobile, and heck, even MOBAs themselves with games like Mobile Legends and League of Legends Wild Rift. Does it emulate the actual console experience? No. But it could literally emulate them too. There's a certain vibe to playing your old RPG games on your mobile with a Bluetooth controller, and while it is frowned upon by corpos, would they blame you? You know what? At the end of the day, with all the shortages and economies being the way they are, I'm blaming AI because RAM shortages literally cascaded into forcing everything to be more expensive. Free to play is a scam sometimes because really, you're just free to pay. For more content like this and other updates down the line, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.